Thank you, thank you. Okay, I can hear myself. That's good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here to talk to you today about where I'm coming from in terms of information management. It was a great morning to start off with that chat show. A lot of very insightful information and things that will be correlated in my presentation as well. My name is Navin. I am from Kuala Lumpur. I'm happy to be here in Singapore. We're neighbors, so it's very close by. And as per the introduction, I am going to cover about information management. I am going to cover about where OpenText stands in all of this, and I'm going to kick this off. Excuse me. I'm going to kick this off with some statistics. Now, this is based on some research that has been done jointly with OpenText or independently. And we've identified, together with the research partners, that about 73% of organizations out there is expected to increase the amount of investment when it comes to managing risks. Okay, compliance and risk. We also identified that the cost involved in order to meet the targets that needs to be met, when you talk about the senior compliance staff, it's going to be increasing to about 61%. And on that note, 10% of BFSIs out there are operating what they are doing now to attribute it to the compliance costs. It's a fact. It's happening right now. And these are based on details that we've went to the ground and found out. Now, on this portion, we're talking about compliance and risk. We know that few things are happening in this space. When it comes to the BFSI space, there's three main areas of focus here. One, compliance. In terms of expenditure, BFSIs across the world is spending about $34.7 billion to combat financial crimes. And out of that, it's part of the portion that's being used to actually have technology be part and parcel of that particular operation. In terms of risk, if you look at the bottom right here, the expenditure that's going from 2023 to 2024, and I'm sure in 2025 it will be higher, it's increasing. From 5.71 billion, which is up by 4.4% to about 4.9% in 2025, we expect it to go more, right? The expenditure that you have in order to combat risk, to put risk in check, is getting bigger and larger. And on that note, if you look at the transformation steps that's happening across, at least 10.6% of the revenues is being spent in that arena. I'm still audible, right? Because I can't hear any feedback. Everyone can hear me okay? There we go. Okay, thanks. All right, so the key point here is we need to find a middle ground to basically balance innovation and balance it in the sense that we can manage risk well. And that is where OpenText, together with this research information and all, we've identified 4 areas where potentially investments need to be focused on, areas where the BFSI should focus on, from governing data and information to managing legacy system, and that's a risk factor, I'll come to that in a bit. Supporting a hybrid workforce, which is something that has been here since the days of COVID and something that will be here throughout the next few years. And aligned to the chat show earlier as well, we did talk about AI, we did talk about DX or customer or the experience you can get it. It's providing excellent digital services. These 4 areas I'm going to touch in the next 15-20 minutes. With that said, let me kick it off by introducing myself and the company. So, OpenText. Sorry, I've introduced myself, so the company itself. OpenText is a Canadian company. We are about 23,000 strong. We are present in about 98 of the top 100 global companies across the world, right? And we're very present in Singapore. I'll touch on it a bit. And with that said, 180 countries across the world has customers where we are present in and we're supplying our services to. Now, what the slide does not state is the amount of money that OpenText is pumping into R&D. We spend about 1/3 of our revenue pumping back into our R&D so that we can develop the latest and greatest in terms of managing the information management space. Now, what that basically means, to put it in a nutshell, our solution now has been enhanced to include generative AI. And I'll show you, and that'll be my team, by the way, for the rest of the remaining minutes, on how generative AI can help your organization manage information better. Now, there's a lot of things that OpenText do. As you can see on the screen, we have about 7 pillars, right? We have a booth out there. Later, come talk to us if there's a particular area that seems interesting to you. You want to talk more to us, we're more than happy to. But in this session today, I will be concentrating on the first two layers, starting with content experience and a bit about AI, or more like a lot about AI. Our sound is embedded into our content and experience space. Content, as it says here, is content management. And from a content management perspective, it's not just a matter of having a place to store the data. It's having a space to store that data, whether it be structured or unstructured, in a secured manner, in a compliant manner. And in the BFSI space, having it compliant is very critical. We are present everywhere, but in Singapore, we are very present, as you can see here. Right? We have a very big office here in Singapore, and we have so many Singapore clients around in Singapore, and we also have a lot of clients around Southeast Asia as well. The focus today is on BFSI, but OpenText being what we do in terms of information management, we actually stretch across a lot of industries. Just giving you an idea that let it be from retail all the way to energy, across the board, OpenText is present. And we are present for a reason. We are present because what we do supports the governance, the standards, the security requirements of organizations out there. And this is not me saying as it is, right? This is based on the fact that we are a recognized market leader. In all these analysis reports that you see on the screen right here, we lead. We are in the leaders quadrant in almost everyone, if not everything. All right? And we do this because of the way of what we focus on in terms of information management. We are the leader because of the fact that we actually tie up with a lot of lead applications in order to bring out information management capabilities within that lead application. Now, to give you an idea, we work out of the box with any Microsoft Office 365 application. We work out of the box with SAP systems. If you have a CRM system like Salesforce, we use it. We are there. So we're present across the board. If you talk about our ability to support from an IT perspective, wherever your platform may be, let it be on a cloud, let it be on-premise, off-premise, no issues at all. Solution-wise, from a technology perspective, we are ready and able to be deployed anywhere. If you talk about our ability to meet the standards, and the BFSI region, this is very critical, right? From a slight technology perspective, we adhere to all these certifications. So if you are looking at the cloud, we are certified. We are ready and able to be deployed. Now, remember how I mentioned about R&D? About 1/3 of it being pumped in? Because we ourselves realize, as per the rest of the world, that having AI part of your process is very critical. Hence, our solutions are baked with generative AI in it. Okay? Because we know, let it be whether it's for external customer-facing situations, let it be for internal operations, let it be generative AI being used to change the way you're working, to make what you're doing better. There is a way, there is a method, there is a use case. We know that's important, and it's part and parcel of your information management initiatives. And that's why generative AI is part and parcel of what we do. Okay, so what I'm saying so far may be a bit abstract. The good news is I do have some recorded demos that we will run through that give you an idea how this works and how it makes any and every BFSI organization have a good feel when it comes to information management. Now, if you recall a few minutes ago, I mentioned about the 4 areas, so let's go into it one by one, starting off with governing data and information. Okay, so what's happening today is very simple, right? I'm pretty sure this is being experienced by anybody within the BFSI industry and beyond. You have a lot of data, structured, unstructured. What do you do with this information? You may keep it for compliance reasons. You may use it to open up new avenues of revenues and so on and so forth. But the fact is you have a lot of information. How do you manage this? How do you ensure it's being managed well, aligned with the needs and requirements of MAS? To ensure that this is there, and this is why quite a few of BFSI organizations in Southeast Asia, in APAC, around the world, including Singapore, use us, is because we comply to the many acts that's out there, including the Banking Act on the far right there, including very specific records management related requirements or acts like VERS and DOD 5015.2. In fact, the one that you see at the top here is one of the most critical acts that we need to adhere to when it comes to records management. In other words, keeping the document for X amount of years, ensuring that the content gets disposed of in the right method, at the right time, permitted by the right person. Okay? This is to ensure that the data, structured or unstructured, stands in front of the court of law if it comes to that. In other words, to apply or to be adhered to all the governance requirements out there. All right. So the next slide is a bit busy. It basically showcases all the feature and function. I shall not go into the detail. Come to the booth, we can go into that. But be rest assured that as a need within the BFSI industry, which is to manage your content, as a need to ensure that it's being managed correctly, we have all the capabilities that is relevant. Now, if you talk about the ability to have it easily ingested, we have a capture capability. Regardless of how your documents or your content starts off, whether it be a physical document, a digital PDF, you need to put it as part and parcel of a process, and that's something we can do. To ensuring that access to it, if you look at the top there in terms of permission, is only accessed by those who are permitted to do so, those who have the right and authority to do so, that is something embedded, to the ability for it to be integrated to whatever your back-end and front-end application may be. Need be core banking. Need be your claims processes within your insurance part. Okay? And of course, again, not belittling this, but a security permission access in terms of records management to ensure that this content is kept in a very long and safe time. All said, this is great. This is out there. We've been out there for some time. But what makes OpenText different? What makes it critical for the BFSI industry to move forward and have things done clearly, quickly, is to have generative AI be part and parcel of that process. You may have hundreds of thousands, millions of documents. You want to be able to extract that specific information easily. And that's something that we can do embedded out the box from the solution itself. Now, the next slide, it's going to be a video I'm going to play real soon. Basically, it's going to cover the use of information, the use of the documents and content, the use of generative AI, and the product name, just to let you guys know, is called Aviator. You have a ChatGPT, your Copilot. We have Aviator, which is basically going to channel through and tunnel through all these documents and get that exact results you want based on the query you have. There's going to be a voiceover, so I'm going to take a break, and let's have a look at that video.
Ken is a claims adjuster and heard that his colleague Sarah did an amazing job on a claim for a recent roof repair. He wants to know who provided the expert opinions and estimates. Instead of navigating through the data or asking his busy colleague, he uses Content Aviator link at the top of the workspace that allows asking questions on the whole of business workspace. Just to check he's in the right claim, he uses the Summarize button. There's lots of information returned that this is a claim filed by Emily Parker for water damage on her home. Just to be sure he's in the right workspace, he asked who is the adjuster and what was the conclusion of the report. Perfect. It was Sarah, and it seems this is the claim he was looking for. Out of curiosity, he asked some more questions just to see if this case is similar enough to his own. What is the roof repair cost? $2,800 estimate. How long does it take to repair? Expected to take 5 days to complete. Okay, now it's time to get to the answer he really wants. Who provided the expert opinions and estimates? Lisa Rodriguez, water damage expert, and John Thompson. All right, now he asks where can he find that information? The answer is provided in the document names. He can also ask for a link to those documents. Ken can click the link, but also knows where the documents are. So he closes the Workspace Aviator and finds the documents to open the Aviator for the specific document that opens the viewer as well. Ken can see the information that he wants there, but he can also ask the Aviator for the information, and then he can copy it to his own form. What are the contact details of the experts? Now he can copy those and put them in his own form. This was a very quick example of using AI and provide relevant information for the query, link to particular documents, keep a conversational memory, and most importantly, answer the question of who provided the expert opinions and estimates.
So what the video did not show is how many documents Aviator went through to give that result. It could be, again, hundreds, thousands, millions, it doesn't matter. End of the day, you have a query. Instead of spending minutes, hours, most likely hours, maybe even days, depending on how complex the question is. You can simply ask the question. It will dig through the folder structure that is here that we call workspaces and get you that answer quickly. That's the beauty of generative AI, Aviator, and managing your content. Okay? So that was number one. We're talking about governing data and information. Now, one thing that we've also seen in the market for BFSI is the ability or the need to manage legacy systems and data. What this basically means is the ability to not continue using your current old system for the sake of having that one time, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, when a query comes from any regulator or anybody about something that happened 5-10 years ago. This is very common. In Singapore, we have a few clients that embark with us for helping them manage their legacy system and data. Okay? There's two aspects to this. One is, if you, like I mentioned earlier, if you have a very old system, you're accessing once in a blue moon, why keep it running? Why spend that money for that licenses, that database, that utilities to keep the server up and running, or even the headcount when you can reposition the headcount to some other area, when you can just take all that data and have it readily available in a different system. In other words, archiving the information, or if you're taking it down, application decommissioning. So two areas. That's one, right? You have an old system, an old IBM system, whatever it may be. You don't need it once in a while, then you do the archiving. There's also a scenario where we have customers who are running actively on a system who has data spanning over 20 years. But from a day-to-day operation perspective, they only use 5 years of the data, from 2025 to 2020. 2019 and earlier, once in a blue moon. Again, the concept of active archiving comes into play where you can offload the data from that system, improve the performance, and do what's necessary in the backend with OpenText. Now, I have another video here that quickly demonstrates how we can use the platform. Just two things before I move on. Number one, this is a very, very cost-saving approach of what you can do, right? Number two, this application itself is not a one-time application I use for application A. It's a platform that you can use to do other applications or archive other applications as well. Again, for a couple of minutes, if not less, let's have a look at a video. I'll take a break of how we can use our information archive solution to manage your legacy information.
Applications. An application is an archive of data from a particular source. For example, baseball data or billing statements. The data can include text, spreadsheets, PDF files, images, videos, and more. Click on an application to see the different searches available for it. Each search type offers a different way to find information, and each can use different fields.
So as you can see here, the screens on the screen right now, it's all customizable. Instead of having the massive data to run through, you create a simple screen, ask the query, and get the answer. This is good from an archiving perspective.
Each search can include different fields in the search results. For some searches, you can expand the search results to view more information. For this search, you can see that the search results use asterisks to mask the first 5 numbers of the Social Security number field. Additional details are also available on the right. And links can show you even more.
Okay, so you notice I went up and pointed, of course, there's a red box as well. The whole idea behind information management is also got to do with protecting your PII. Yeah, your personally identifiable information. And that's something that we have part and parcel of all our solutions. Okay, it was the Social Security number for US. For, of course, Singapore, Malaysia, it could be our IC number. Moving forward, hybrid workforce. Now, the thing is today, whether it was because of COVID, prior to that, or where we are today, generative AI, everyone's using an application that they are comfortable with. And I'll be honest with you, if it's not for OpenText, any one of you, most likely you're using some sort of application from Office 365. Right? Let it be from Teams to maybe even OneDrive, whatever the application may be. But information governance and information management, protecting your content should still be part and parcel of your organizational needs. This is where OpenText has recognized this. And basically what we've done is we've brought information management capabilities out to Microsoft. So if you're using Teams, and if I jump to the next screen, if you're using Teams, you'll still be able to access the same content that you saw a few minutes ago in the other video within Teams itself. So from a user experience perspective, your users, your customers, you don't have to change the way you're working. Continue using the same application, but be assured the information that's being embedded, the content is all managed in the background. Let it be from using, this should be SharePoint, even OneDrive, and so on. So the idea is what OpenText does is just not only manage your information in a secured, governed manner, it's also got to do to allow customer experience or user experience to continue at a positive rate. Okay, something we do out of the box. Finally, from providing an excellent digital service, and this is something related to the chat show we had earlier, we need to have the ability to meet our customers, talk internally to our users in a more effective manner. Now, there's a lot of things that we do in this aspect. Again, do come to the booth and we can continue. I think I'm out of time, but I'll just continue a couple of more minutes if you don't mind. Thank you. Do come to the booth, we go into detail, but I just want to share with you that in order for us to interact with our customers, we need to do it as fluidly as possible. Now, these are all the things that we can do. Personalization is key, as per what we discussed, that was discussed earlier in the chat show. And this is something that part and parcel of what we do when interacting. However, I want to bring your attention again to artificial intelligence. Generating personalized documents to your user or customer is critical, but doing it in a fast, quick, smart manner is even more critical. So I have another video, a quick video, in a few minutes will show you how we can use generative AI to be part and parcel in a generation of a letter or generation of a communication to an intended user. Of course, this can be done in the background, so we're going to do something in the foreground. So just for a couple of minutes, let's have a look at this video.
In this scenario, I'm a business user. I'm using our authoring tool, and I've been tasked to come up with a generic piece of content in this communication that thanks the customer for purchasing their life insurance policy, and also to expect the personalized welcome package, including details of the coverage. So to start, we open our content, then place our cursor inside to activate the toolbar, and then in the toolbar, select our Experience Aviator icon.
So this Aviator,
it is in here that you can type your prompt for the content that you would like, or you can even start with our hint options. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use the prompt. Congratulate customer on purchase of life insurance policy using first name and alert that the quote is processing and will be available shortly. I then hit the generate button, and in a matter of moments, we have some suggested content, including variables. If everything looks good, we hit insert, and here is our AI generated content, including variables. And once in our tool, of course, everything's fully editable. I'll go ahead and bold this selection here. I'm happy with my work, and literally in a minute, we have gone from 0 to content. In this next scenario, I am again a business user in our authoring tool, and I've been tasked with correcting the readability of the content in this communication. With our assisted authoring tool, I can see the areas that are problematic, but now, with the use of AI, I can get assistance in solving for it too. Having opened the content for editing, I can launch our assisted authoring tool. And as we can see, we have a pretty poor score, 32 on the difficulty rating. I'll select readability, and we can see our first sentence has a score of 50.7, and our second, the long run-on sentence, is very difficult with a negative 7.1. So this is what we're going to address. I open Experience Aviator, and now you can see that we've pre-selected that text to change. In this case, I'm going to improve the readability to a 5th grade level, and here is our result. Now, if I want to, I can go ahead and do another search. In this case, I'm going to use our hint and use simplify this text. And now I have 2 options I can choose from. I'll go ahead and pick the result number 1 and insert that into my output. There are no grammar issues. We're okay to proceed. Our score has increased significantly. We're inside the perfect area at 65.5. and with a few little more edits here, we're good to go. I am happy with the results as we see them, and all that remains now is to submit my work for approval. In doing so, I can show you the last feature here, and that is any piece of content that we use AI to generate, we conveniently flag for the downstream reviewer or approver to be made aware.
So, you saw how easy it is to generate a personalized communication and how to do it ethically in the sense that it will be commented that we use GenAI so that the person processing it can know that this is done with some, AI in the background. Point being is, this simplicity, this personalization is a need, is something that's happening. We identify it, and that's where we are with this today. There's a combination of generative AI and some capabilities that OpenText has built into this particular solution. All right. To wrap up, as I would read out what's at the top here, seamlessly integrated content and targeted personalized communication is critical in the BFSI space. It's a given. Based on what I've shared, come over to the booth. There's a lot more things that we can share about what we do and how it helps in the BFSI space. But more importantly, I guess, we do have the ability to interact with you in a more one-to-one manner. There's a QR code on the screen right now. Take a snapshot of it, quick questionnaire, and we can always have a future conversation about it. Okay, with that said, thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Navin.
Thanks, welcome.
Okay, so one of the things that really struck me was how Gen AI is really changing the things. Sorry, could you cut the music, please? Thank you. All right, so one thing I wanted to pick your brain, Navin, is that based on OpenText with all the Gen AI, people are developing their own GPTs and everything, but not using your platform. What have you seen in your stint with OpenText that you go, hey, this is kind of groundbreaking or super creative that I think is going to be fitting for our folks over here from the BFSI industry to look into and start jumping onto?
Sure. Great question. Thank you so much. I think the videos that I showed earlier kind of touches on what the use cases are for the BFSI sector. But I guess it's a very good point as well. You brought up ChatGPT. That one of the things that we realized is this industry wants to do it, but they're afraid about the data itself. Where's it going to end up? You throw that question, you throw that capability into ChatGPT, where does it end up? The thing about OpenText, what we realized is, if you put it out in the internet, anybody can use it. So our solutions, our ability to run Gen AI is solely based on your data and kept within your premise. It is not pushed out to the internet. And that's a very critical area. In terms of use cases itself, it could be anything. Right? It could be from generation of communication to your internal and external stakeholders. It could be the traveling through all the data that you have, all the structured and unstructured data that you have within your content to generate the necessary or come up with the necessary information for you to react. We have claims management by a very big insurer in Asia. The claims management process is using our capabilities that you saw on the screen today in order to quickly respond to any claim that comes in to ensure that whatever supporting document is supported for that claims is being handled. We have a customer who's used our archiving application to archive all their old legacy systems where expenditure has dropped about 20-30% in terms of licenses and all that, which is a big saving to the customer. So use cases are far and plenty. BFSI as well when it comes to what I just mentioned as well.
And okay, for you, those of you who don't know me, I love freebies and I love good deals. So I want to ask you, for all the people that you actually consult with, what's the one thing that you feel that people should tell you so that you know that you can give them the best value?
People should
helping you guys save money, huh? Okay, so helping you out.
To tell you to give best value, what do you tell me? Okay. If you're facing, okay, this is a practical thing, yeah. If you're facing situations where you've been asked to ensure that the data, structured, unstructured, is contained really well within your organization, you've been asked to prove that in the case of needing to step in front of the court of law, that the information you have can be reproduced in the right manner. If you're looking for ability, and this is very frank, right? He said it doesn't have to be about money, but let's talk about money. If you want to save cost, right? If you really want to reduce your footprint in terms of cost and use that money in other areas, speak to us, right? We have areas, we have use cases that we can talk about how OpenText can help you achieve that. I hope I answered that question. Yeah.
Very much so, very much so. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Navin regarding OpenText, and I think probably all things GenAI, he's more than happy to share with you. Later on, after the next presentation, there's going to be a bit of a networking break, so please catch up with him at the booth. Okay, so round of applause for Navin Nair.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Navin. Thank you very much.